Hello there. I hope you're doing well. This is a quiet warning, not a prediction. And this, at the same time, another episode of The Ugly Truth, of course. So today is not about taking sides and not even about prediction. Think of this as a notification, a calm warning based on patterns, timing, and what we are starting to see in the news cycle. You heard that Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, is expected to meet Donald Trump, the President of US, around the end of December. This timing is unusual. Late December is typically when leaders slow down, people rest, reassess, and step away after a long year. In particular, they have met, I think, four times almost this year. And why they are going to meet each other again, that's another that signals kind of different things, especially when high level meetings, high profile people meeting each other. So it signals urgency, not a ceremony. That alone is a reason to pay attention. The news, what news is quietly indicating is that recent reporting from especially the NBC News, correct me if I'm wrong, increased activities around defensive and strategic capabilities, including missile systems and sensitive facilities. On more of the Iranian side, and no country can reasonably be expected not to defend itself, but when preparation accelerates on one side, it tends to compress decision making on the other, of course. And this is indirect pressure. This is how indirect pressure builds. And this is an asymmetric confrontation. This is not a symmetrical standoff. One side operates across vast geographic. Iran is 70 times larger by land area, and that scale provides depth, redundancy, and time. The other side is small, geographically compressed. I mean, Israel, and reacts to threats much faster because it must. They also enjoy high logistics, element of surprise, espionage, intelligence, technology, especially the artificial intelligence and aerial drones, latest cutting edge stealth airplanes and so on. And you know about this, of course. And this is indirect pressure versus direct response. So pressure has largely been applied indirectly through layers, distance, and intermediary, intermediaries. But indirect pressure doesn't eliminate confrontation, it often delays it. And when indirect method stops working, conflict tends to move forward and not sideways. The warning is the next phase would be heavier. The confrontation has become direct again. If, for example, if they wanted to confront earlier, like 3 months ago or four, I would reckon that the scale would be smaller, and it is unlikely to resemble previous short episodes, especially like the last 12 days war back 6 months ago, back in June. And it may impact many people, and the scale of destruction would be way more massive. Escalation would likely be more intense, with higher risk of infrastructure damage and civilian impact, something no one wants. It's precisely why caution matters now. So the first signal won't be military. If things shift, the earliest signs might not be explosions. There might there will be flight diversions, airspace restrictions, and route cancellations, especially across Middle East and the Persian Gulf. Aviation reacts before the headlines. So what this means for ordinary people like you and me. The practical takeaway for you is if you're traveling during late December or early January, especially through Middle East airspace, have contingencies. Monitor routes, expect delays, stay flexible. This is not an alarmism, it's preparedness. So, history shows, after all, that when pressure builds indirectly for too long, response tends to be incremental. They tend to be decisive. Whether escalation happens or not, we're clearly approaching a decision window. And those moments are rarely announced in advance. Stay aware, stay cautious, and restraint all let's hope restraint still prevails. Thank you and stay safe.